Hello. Hey, shift makers. Look at y'all. First in the house. Hi. Shift makers Charlotte. Be sure to follow them. Absolutely dope people. Oh, Sky Campbell, Flawless Capture. Hey, everybody. My allergies, of course, now are trying to give me problems. Can everybody hear me? Bengals and brunch. Hey, Michelle. Virginia's in the house. Hey, dear. Hey, VJ. Hi. So look at Maryland and DC, Virginia in the house. I used to work with, I'm not going to say work. She was the boss of everybody. Hey, I haven't seen you since our inspector days. That seems like so long ago. We were filming together. But I did see you in the D Nice party a couple of weeks ago. Can't remember who it was. Thank you. Thank you. I love some sparkle. Thank you guys for joining. Let me correct that. Thank you, ladies. Hi, Spice Lab. Luann just joined. For those who don't know, tonight is absolutely fabulous. And um, if you missed our live, hey, we got the memo. We dressed alike again. How you doing?
We were on cue with the red. Was it red or off the shoulder?
Off the
It
shoulders.
was off the shoulder, and here we are with the black.
With the black. I started to put on my red lip. I said, I'm gonna do something different today. I pulled out my lip fetish bow, and I was like, okay, let me see what we're gonna do with lip fetish today. How have you been since you come off your whirlwind summit?
I have to tell you, I was exhausted.
I can imagine.
I didn't expect that, but I was completely exhausted. I felt like I ran 18 mini events. Because
Exactly.
when you're in it and the adrenaline's going, and for me it was so much fun because I was with my friends. I was having a conversation with friends and letting people know, like, hey, I keep telling you all about all these fabulous resources. They're my peoples. Join in our conversation. And it was literally knowing that Friday was over, and Saturday and Sunday I could not get up off the sofa. I was exhausted.
And I was going to say, because first of all, planning summits, planning any event, the adrenaline is pumping and you're always in go mode. Last night, after I finished our first live with Twala, let me tell you, I was like, why do I feel like I've been fighting? And it's just the energy, because you're like, okay, I got to get this right. I got to get that right. Yes. And then when you do it, you're like, okay, I can relax now.
And I watched it, and it was so awesome. So congratulations on doing this. I think this is a fabulous idea.
Thank you.
So fabulous. I'm so proud.
Thank you.
I'm always proud of you. I'm always rooting for my people's, like.
I love it. I was like, okay, you know what? Let me stop. I was about to use inappropriate. Let me stop tiptoeing around and just do what I want to do and drink. Listen, everything I tell everybody else, I have to start doing it myself. So I was like, here we are. We're going to do it. And I'm very excited. So for everyone that just joined us, yes, we love a red lip too, Michelle. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining. This is my new baby. This is my pivot. This is my moving forward, moving in faith and what God has told me to do. This is Rethink Model. So, of course, when we think of model, what does everybody think about? And if you don't say my name, I guess I won't be offended, because yes, that's how you know me, right? I'm a model, right? But so when we think about models, we think about the person who is on TV, walking the runway, modeling red lips like you are tonight, boo, work it, or a hair model, nails, anything. We're thinking high fashion, we're thinking print. And during this time for me, I began to realize that it was time for me to pivot and to really focus on the rebrand for me. And when I say my company name is J Model Executives, and everyone always thinks, oh, it's about your modeling. Well, actually, no, it's about me and business and how I want to model. I am the model executive. I am the person that you will get that excellence, that professionalism. And so that's where we're going with this. Rethink Model. So I invited you because, first of all, like you said earlier, you are a bomb entrepreneur. You did the thing where you had 18 mini events, a virtual summit like I've never seen before. You adjusted to the times and you bought it. But you're also a mom, and I loved that when we were doing our live, I could hear your baby. I was like, oh, that's so real, because the baby's going to do what baby's going to do.
It was a lot of prayer because they're 3 and 6. And being a single mom, the only person in the house is God. So every evening I was telling somebody the other day, I'm like, for those of you that have spouses or, a partner, be thankful that you have someone that you can kick those kids to for like 30 minutes. I don't have that. So what I've resorted to doing is, hey, God, hey, boo, you said you're the only man I ever needed. So I just need a little time. Can you step in and take over? Literally, I did that last week. And I kid you not, 5 minutes after, the kids were quiet for an hour. And I was wondering, well, what am I going to do? And I literally sat on my bed because I was like, okay, while they're quiet, I could do laundry. I didn't know how long it would last, right? I forgot what I had just did. So I was like, okay, should I do laundry? I was like, no. I was like, do I fold clothes?
You didn't know what to do.
I literally sat there for 45 minutes out of the 60 minutes, trying to figure out what I was going to do instead of take a moment for yourself.
Okay, so that jumps right into how we are as mothers. And first of all, Michelle, you're right. Bengals and Brunch commented, some of us have partners and we still have to call. We're still only God. I mean, at least we know where our help comes from. But as mothers, okay, so as mothers, we always feel like we should be going. We always feel like, earlier I had like a 30-minute window where I wasn't doing anything. I was like, well, what should I do? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just sit here, because we get those moments and we feel like we're always supposed to be going. What's one of the things that, aside from always calling on God, how do you keep your family dynamics? Being a single mom, okay, I was a single mom of 1. I can't imagine being a single mom of 2. How do you make it all work? And how do you make it all work and look so good doing it? What?
That looks so good doing it. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, structure is a big thing for me. So, being a mom, being an aunt, so you got to wear many hats. And for me, yes, I'm a single mom to 2 young children, not even like older, they still need mommy every minute. So being a mom to 2 young children, being an entrepreneur, having my business, building a new business, being an executive assistant in my day job to a CEO. So that in itself is a lot, right? All the things. And then who told me that, now's the time to think about dating. So now I want to really have a personal life. And
I'm cheering for that.
That's a whole other topic. But structure. I think this is where the project manager in me really comes into play. And sometimes it's a really great thing and sometimes it's a really bad thing. But understanding that my kids have set bedtimes, by 8:30 is bedtime. 8:30, they're in bed. During the day, we have to have structure. I have to have structure because I have to look forward to, when am I going to have just a moment to breathe or to do something else? And understanding, what are your limits? You have to be able to know, what are you working with? And for me, it took a long time to figure that out because I would do everything. And whenever the spirit moved me, I'd just do it and not think about, okay, Lou, maybe you can put that off to tomorrow. And, instead of doing it right now. Nicole, my social media manager, her favorite thing to say is if I say something and she's like, okay, and it's due tomorrow, because I'm always like, all right, so let's get,
so that. Yeah. Cause
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
I was going to say we have that in common to where when we hear that something needs to be done, we feel like, oh, well, okay, well, let me get to starting on this now instead of, oh, I can wait till tomorrow. Like I don't have to do it right now. So that's a great thing to be able to do. Structure is very important.
Gotcha.
Structure. And as Michelle said, knowing your limits and knowing when, okay, you know what, I see this, and I had to do this as event manager, project manager. I think we have that in common,
Yeah, we do.
where you will have a list of things to do, and you have to be able to look at that list and within your structure, prioritize what
Yep.
is the one thing that has to be done. Because there are some things that on our list that aren't necessarily life-threatening. Yes. Yes.
Oh, well, thank you, Miss Campbell, for stopping by. I hope you watch
Hey,
the
Susan,
replay.
it's so good to see you. I'm gonna
drop some free stuff at the end, so make sure you watch the replay.
Yes, yes. So now that we've talked about your family, your 6-year-old and your 3-year-old, and how you have structure and you call on Jesus and he answers. I was going to start singing that song almost. I had to pull myself back. So I know for you with the virtual summit, you've adjusted that way with COVID-19 happening. What have you been able to do that gives you that peace being stuck? I'm not going to say stuck in the house, but being in the house and not necessarily being able to go out as much as you would normally?
You know, for me, it's been gratitude and finding the peace in what the situation that we're in. You know, there's so many of us that could be in a far worse position versus thank you, God, for waking me up with breath. Thank you, God, for having a roof over my head. It really has been about, I have this time home that was not planned, but I desperately needed a moment, even if it's just with my kids, you know, just trying to find balance. And so when this happened, it was like that first week was, okay, what am I going to do? I got the kids. Now I'm a homeschool teacher. I'm a gym teacher. I'm the cafeteria lady. I'm all these other things now. And so I was just, you know, the other day, I just realized, I'm like, I feel like I only just hit my wall of COVID maybe just a few days ago, where I'm just like, I don't know what day it is. I'm tired and all of these other things. But in that moment, not getting lost in it. You know, we have to look at Cole. One of my favorite things is understanding and realizing the power of a reset. We are in a mandatory reset phase. So I have to look at myself, and the thing that I ask everybody around me is, what are you doing to maximize this time? What are you doing that you didn't have time for before? That could be mapping out a new idea. That could be taking classes, because there's a whole bunch of free classes out there. Why wouldn't you want to learn something? But even if the situation is overwhelming, take the time to breathe. I figured one of the things that I need to do to hide from my kids, because there's no room to hide. I go in my bathroom. I kid you not. I go in my bathroom. I go in the shower and I pull the shower curtain, because little kids won't pull that shower curtain back. So they're not going to look for mommy there. So I know at least 15 minutes out of the day when I can't take it and I really need a moment, I hide in my bathtub.
Listen, I love it. That's the first time I've heard. Now, I've heard of going and hiding in the bathroom, but I did not know that you will actually get in the tub and pull the shower curtain.
Pull the shower curtain. But for me, dealing with COVID, it was a matter of, okay, God, you have forced this on all of us. Who do I need to reconnect with? How do I reconnect with myself? How do I reconnect with you? How do I get deeper? Like, this is literally the time, because we're not going to be in this moment forever. We may come back to it, but what are we going to do now? And for those that are really struggling through this moment, okay, for those of us that are in a better position, learn what we can so that we can share that information, so that we can empower somebody else, because we don't know who we're going to come across. You're never going to know. You never know who you're going to meet. And that random thing that you learned or read could help somebody else who wasn't able to benefit in the real time of it, but can learn from it in the future because of you. So maximize this moment. Be your best self. Reconnect with yourself. And also learn to get rid of this dead weight. This is a reset.
Listen, and how many times during the summit, we did 18 days, 18 speakers. How many speakers talked about getting rid of the dead weight, protecting your peace. Those are all things you have to do, not just, okay, again, we're mothers, we're entrepreneurs, we're employees. We are doing a number of things. And if we're walking around, and this makes me think about Erykah Badu and Bag Lady, if we have all this dead weight, if we're carrying all this baggage, we can't be effective even in this moment, because in a moment where we should have time to really do what we need to do for us, we're carrying all this extra baggage and we're not taking advantage of the reset, like you said.
Yep. It's just that energy. You know, this is the best time to assess all aspects of your life. So when I coach people one-on-one, one of the things that a lot of other coaches and strategists don't focus on is, how are you finding balance? And balance is energy. It's not about just, you know, having an aha moment and yoga. It's how are you clearing your mind? How are you balancing the energy that's around you, the people around you? God gave you an opportunity for an out. So if there was that one person that you really didn't want to keep connected to,
now is the time. Listen, and so I was thinking about that earlier, because I said I was thinking about the things that I have going on, the things that I was doing prior to. And I said, you know what, God? People are either in or they're out. I said, people are either going to support you. They are not supporting you in this time, in this moment, then they never really wanted to support you or plan to support you, because all we have is time right now. We're home, we're in the house, so people can support you either by connecting, pick up the phone and call, share a tweet, repost something. And I'm like, everybody's like, well, I can't wait to see certain people. I was like, well, I'm kind of glad, because now I don't have to deal with certain people. Like, I'm good. I didn't really want to be around.
Phase out gracefully.
Phasing them out. And you say gracefully. We're going to do it gracefully.
Because you don't have this is not, you don't have to do it harshly. You don't have to be like, I want to talk to you. No, you just phase them out gracefully. Like, you know, I was meditating. Whatever.
Right. I was trying to learn how to do the tree pose for yoga. I've just been doing stuff. And I feel like part of life and part of maturity is realizing when you can walk away from a person or a situation and be okay with it and not feel guilty about it. I know when things like that happened to me years ago, where I had a friend and all of a sudden they weren't a friend and I didn't hear from them. I was like, what the? They did me wrong. And then now I'm like, you know what? This is part of life. And really I phase in and out with people. So relationships change.
And you have to own it. That's the other piece. You know, this is also a time that is forcing people to face themselves. Like, sorry, how shitty of a person were you really?
Right. And a lot of people, how many of us really want to face ourselves, first of all? Because part of the reason why a lot of people were out in the streets and moving and doing so much is because we didn't want to deal with our crap. We didn't want to look at ourselves.
A lot of people don't like to deal with themselves and the reality of who they are. And that's okay. Listen, I'll use myself as an example. I am definitely that. I ran from dating just because the minute I attempted to do it, I was just like, this is stupid. I can't do this. I'm not. I kid you not. And you know, in doing that and putting everything else ahead, and then I became a single mom of one, and then she turned one. I was stuck, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And I took a leap of faith, and I moved to Charlotte. I didn't know anybody, had no family. I left my daughter behind. My mother is the co-parent. My mom helped raise her for the first 2 years of her life so that I can be here in Charlotte. And I grinded for those 2 years. Then I ended up being a single parent a second time, and I had my son. But there's no commitment here. There's no relationship in all this time, right? So all I kept doing was, I'm a mom and I'm focusing. But now, one of the things I learned during COVID was the importance of me time, the importance of wanting to be with an adult. And it's okay. You know, it's one thing, we all can admit that. You have to admit that. And for me, I always felt like I didn't have time. And now we have plenty of time. But again, as much as we think we have plenty of time, we may not have that much time. So I had to face, okay, what are my what are my discomfort levels? And what about dating gives me anxiety? Because I don't have much patience, you know? Because for me, I'm like, to go out on a date means, all right, first of all, hold on, I'm putting down my tea. To go on a date.
Spill the tea. Give us the tea.
I had to put my mug down with my tea. Girl, and I had notes too, so I make sure I stay on.
You ready.
But this wasn't one of them. But as you asked the question, right? So here's you know, the example I'm giving about myself is, it could be relate to anything. What is that one thing that you keep running from? Face it, right? So what was my discomfort with dating? Why don't I want to do it? Why, you know, and a lot of it had to be with, I don't want to be hurt again. I don't want to put myself in this position again. But also at this point now, if I'm going on one date, means I have to find a sitter. It's now COVID. Yes. So who am I putting my children with in this time that I trust, that I can say, everybody's been quarantined. Nobody wants to deal with anybody else's children. So
right.
I'm stuck, right? So it's like all these things. And it's like, okay, even if I make 2 hours out of my time, I'm thinking about my children. Okay, I've got to go here. I need you to value my time. So I need you to understand how much I have to do just to make 2 hours to sit 6 feet away from you to say, hey, how you doing? So
do it again. How you doing?
But that's just my example. But for anybody else that's watching, what is the one thing that you need to confront? What is the one thing that you need to address that, you know what? It's okay to admit it. No one gives a damn about what anybody else thinks. You need to put that aside, put your ego aside. What is it that you want for yourself? Make the time for it, because time waits for no man, but time also has no respect for you.
It doesn't, and you can't get it back. So you either do it or you don't. And we get caught up. And we get caught up in what we think other people expect from us, what we think other people will think about us and what we're doing. We all are jacked up. We just have different ways that we're jacked up. I mean, we all have something that we're dealing with, and it's how you actually deal with it, instead of saying, okay, I'm gonna keep running from it. Because again, like you said, listen, that's probably why I get tired. I realized I was tired because I was running from things that I didn't want to deal with. And guess what? Now I have to deal with them. And I made the conscious effort. Okay, Jennifer, you have to deal with this, and you have to deal with it head on. And you may not like it, but you're going to learn to love what happens after you go through this process. Absolutely. And that's what I had to tell myself. Keep going. Just go through the process. Make it through the process. So when you finish this, you pass the test, and we don't have to go through this cycle again, because we don't want to go through these cycles over and over again.
But we do, right? So let's flip that. So that's my personal perspective, because I had to understand what was my personal journey of this vicious negative cycle that I kept repeating that prevented me from fulfilling my vision of just putting my foot in the water of the dating pool in some way, some fashion, right? Not like dating 10,000 people. I'm not talking, just to make that first step. But let's flip it from an entrepreneur standpoint. It's the same thing of how you have your vision, okay? So you have a vision. It doesn't matter what level of entrepreneurship you're in. If you're new, thinking about it, just started, keep hitting roadblocks, been successful, but trying to figure out something else. This is what I do. And this is a part of how I developed a lot of my strategies. It really came from my own personal life, personal and professional. Okay. Because you can't run from your personal. If you want to grow in your business, you have to also grow personally. The two run parallel.
They go hand in hand.
Hand in hand. Okay? You can't. So when you have a vision, and you have a vision for something you want to do, what is stopping you? What's holding you back? You have to face that. Because at some point, you're going to have to take a risk. That risk could be very calculated. It could be so well thought out. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you have to think quickly and just execute. But at the same time, it's a risk. And we all have to be willing to make and take a risk. So step out of this comfort zone. Use this time to really assess what it is that you want. Where do you want to go? What is God? Take a minute and figure it out, and just try. It may not work, it's okay. But at least, you know, at the end of the day, you can try.
So a friend of mine says, did you try? Why won't you try? Or if you did try and it hurt, the response is, but did it kill you? If it didn't
Right.
kill you, you can get up and you can keep going. So, I mean, I love that because I'm sorry, I'm looking at the comments. Hey, thank you, sweetheart, for joining. Thank you for stopping in.
Hey,
Thank you. I know that there are times where, and I was sharing this with my mom, and I'm going to be transparent. I was talking to my mom a couple of weeks ago, and there have been some things that I've been dealing with. And all of a sudden, I was in the house and my chest started hurting. I started sweating. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? I might have a heart attack. And I realized, I said, this is a panic attack. I haven't had a panic attack in over 15 years. So I had to take myself and sit myself down and say, okay, first of all, Jennifer, get yourself together. Second of all, why are you panicking? Why are you letting fear? And I don't even know where it came from. It's just like this flood of fear just came over me and I couldn't move. I was literally paralyzed. And I sat there and I said, okay, if you have lived through a near-death health scare in 2013, you have been without resources and God has made a way over and over again. Why are you panicking now? Why is the spirit of fear so close and this anxiety? And I had to realize, even today, I was out with a group of people and we were all social distancing, but even standing beside two people, I was looking at them and I was like, oh my God, what if they have it? Oh my God. And I have to, and every day now is a challenge for me to get out of the house and be around two people, when before I don't care about, I'm going to events. I have an event. Oh, let's go to this event. Now I'm looking like, okay, you're too close. So let me take a couple of steps back and then this way. And that's what I'm having to process now. So we have to, again, going back to the point, we have to see what it is that's causing the anxiety, because I'm not going to be able to do business if personally I'm looking at people like, oh my gosh, how am I going to, when we get to go back outside and play again, how am I going to work with clients? You sit way over there and I'm going to look at you cross-eyed and wonder, okay, you coughed, you might have allergies like I do, but is it COVID? You know, so those are the things. That's why we have to pay attention to what we're doing and start working on it now. You laughing at me. Listen.
But it's true. It really is true.
It's true. It's true.
Absolutely.
So you've already done everything that's already formatted. You said you took down some notes. Share a random thought on your page with us.
So
share something.
We got 4 minutes, right? Okay. I'm going to give you 5 tips. You ready?
In 4 minutes.
In 4 minutes. You ready?
Let's go.
Tip number 1, own your story.
Own your story.
Own your story. It doesn't matter ups, downs, own your story, because that is what's going to make you a better you. Tip number 2, adapt, embrace, and make the best of your journey, because it's never going to be easy. It's never going to be smooth. You just have to roll with the punches sometimes. And that's where you have to know you have a great team, great people uplifting you, great resources to tap into, because that is when you're going to need them the most, right?
I love it.
Okay. Tip number 3, be kind to yourself and allow yourself to live life, even if it means 30 minutes out of the day.
Say that one again, please. One more time.
Tip number 3, be kind to yourself and allow yourself to live life, even if it's only 30 minutes out of the day. It's your time. Love it. Tip number 4, in the words of Rashonda Pratt, God.
Come on, Rochelle.
Okay. You know what? So she always says, God's not making empty vessels. There is something working for all of us. So tap into it and utilize that to propel yourself into whatever the next version of you is, right? Because you're not an empty vessel. You got something to work with. Last and not least is I came up with, since we're talking model, I wanted to leave you with something about model. So MODEL, model. Translation, manifesting opulence during everyday living. So opulence is excess of, where'd you go?
I fell out. You took me out with that one. I wasn't ready. Woo. Okay.
All right, well, I'll give it to you again. Model, since this is what we're talking about, rethinking what model is. So the acronym that I came up with using model is manifesting opulence during everyday living, because this is what we're doing. We are just having everyday living. So opulence is defined as excess of wealth, luxury, lavish, visibly over the top. But in simpler terms, it's abundance or prosperity. So what are you doing to live life abundantly? What are you doing to bring more prosperity into your life? This is how we all can rethink what it means to be a model.
Listen, why are you messing me up? I was going to say, I wasn't expecting to have, whoo, you better speak life. Speak life.
Got to do it.
Oh my gosh. You just took me out with that.
And I did it in 4 minutes.
You did it in 4 minutes. And we still have, wait. So we have 1 more minute, and this last minute is all yours, because I want people to be able to follow you, share any opportunities, share any events you have coming up. This is your moment. Do your thing.
Well, thank you again. My name is Spice Lab, and what I do, I'm a project manager, I'm a business strategist, and I'm your partner when it comes to building out your business vision. So what I'm offering today is free access to my course. I'm going to be closing it out at the end of June, but if you hit me up in my DM on Spice Lab and just say, I want the course, send me your email address, I will send you the code and you can take the course for free, because I want everybody to be their best. And I want you to be able to find opportunities. It doesn't matter what level of entrepreneurship you are in. Everybody can find opportunities. Everybody feels stuck sometimes, but this is that. And you know, if you want, you can also hit the link in my bio. We can do one-on-one consultations. I'm here. Now is the time. Let's build, let's get strategizing, and let's go.
I love it. I love you. We're doing this. Let's go. Yes, Michelle. This is going to be saved, and it will be posted. Lord have mercy. It got me tearing up. Thank you so much, Luann. Listen, Lou, you've been taking care of me since the night we met. So I am just overjoyed. I am so thankful, so grateful that our paths are crossed and we were able to do this again. Hey, Janet, thanks for joining, everybody. So thank you for joining us. I'm going to let you go now and do my little final housekeeping to let everybody know about tomorrow. But thank you so much for sharing those gems. Everybody go to her page, send her a DM, get the course. This is a woman you want to work with. Thank you so much, Lou.
Bye, doll. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye-bye. So everybody, wow. Okay, let me get my eyes and stuff together. Wow, that was, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Yes, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. We are right back again tomorrow night. Join me here tomorrow at 6:30. Tomorrow you are in for a treat. In for a story, bring some tissue. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm loving the transparency from everybody and the sincerity. Tomorrow night's guest is Melody Gross. I want you all to go follow I Am Melody Co. now. I will make sure to post her flyer. Melody is going to be talking to us, and her subject matter, her area of expertise is not just motherhood, but it's domestic violence and motherhood. She has a story to tell. She has resources. I love talking to her and reading her stories about her and her son. They are just, you have to be here tomorrow to learn more about them. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. It is dinner time where I am. I hope you all are enjoying dinner. Please remember to rethink model and know that you have it in you to be the best model for the next person. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have any questions you want to ask in our lives, be sure to DM me and I'll have those questions ready for you. Thank you for joining from Boston. Thank you, Will. I saw you. Thank you, everybody. Love, 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 all the hearts. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow night.